All right, you guys, here we go. Today, we're going to talk about handling criticism while you are losing weight and getting healthy. This has been something that I've had to deal with personally. And this is something that I hear a lot about when it comes to you guys, clients, being on their health and fitness journey. So it's something that kind of can dig a little deeper or bite a little bit harder, because when you are doing something that's bettering yourself and you have people basically crapping on that, it's kind of hard to handle. And it's tough to hear that sometimes. So your health and fitness journey will attract criticism from friends and family. Expect both positive and definitely negative feedback from people sometimes. All right. So transforming your health and getting criticism from other people does not feel good. If you let it, those negative criticisms can derail your confidence and stop you from achieving your goals. We all have buttons that fire up self-doubt. When someone pushes that button, it can sting. And oftentimes we will go running for the safety of the status quo. So when someone comments on Facebook to you or Instagram, or maybe it's an in-person thing, you need to really frame things correctly and examine that criticism and put it into perspective. You can't take it personally. Definitely don't let it derail you from your objective and your mission. So I'm going to give you guys a couple things to kind of help mitigate that, or kind of set yourself up for that, or at least better understand it, I should say. So number one, is the criticism valid? All right. If so, can I improve? All right. So sometimes you might get criticized and it might be something that you can maybe do a little bit differently. So if the criticism is valid, thank the person for it and get curious on how to improve on that criticism. So this might not be fitness related wise, but let's say it is somebody criticizing you maybe on something and like, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't realize I was bragging too much about my weight loss. Okay, cool. I'll throttle back a little bit. So the point I'm trying to make with this is, look at the criticism and is it valid? Now, one of my favorite quotes, this is some of you guys might know who this is. His name's Morimoto Musashi. He's a Japanese swordsman, I believe from the 1600s, very famous in Japan. And he's just one of those kind of legends, like Spartacus, Paul Bunyan, Hercules. He's just really intertwined with their culture. And one of his best quotes, and I've actually used this to people, it's phenomenal. He was getting ready to battle a fellow samurai or a fellow Ronin, and they were kind of scoping each other out. And he said to this fellow swordsman, he said, "Thank you for the critique you've just given my performance. Not often are we allowed to see ourselves as others see us. I'm much indebted to you for your comments. I assure you, I won't forget them." So it's a little tongue in cheek there. It's a little, maybe a little spite in there, but he's remembering the comment. He's saying thank you for that critique, but he's not going to forget it. And he assures the other swordsman that he is indebted to that guy. And the way the story goes, he winds up killing him in a very famous sword battle. So probably one of my favorite quotes. I've used this on someone before. It's phenomenal. So next, who is the criticism coming from? In a world of keyboard warriors and armchair quarterbacks, it's easy to get a shot to your confidence if you listen to everyone's opinion. Theodore Roosevelt's "man in the arena" quote is a good place to start when assessing where any criticism comes from. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this quote. It's very, very well worded, and it really summarizes when you're putting yourself out there and how you should view other people's opinions. So I'll read you guys this quote. It's really good. "The man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly." That's a key word right there. So this so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And I think this is just spot on for where we're at in our day and age. I mean, this was obviously written a long time ago. People will hop online, they'll talk trash over their keyboards, and they're not out there actually doing stuff. So when you're posting something like, hey, I lost 20 pounds, or hey, I'm doing this thing because I have this newfound level of fitness, and people are maybe crapping on that, they're not doing anything. They're just on the sidelines. And really the key takeaway is, if you are not out there trying, I don't give a shit about your opinion. And this woman, Brene Brown, said that. She's actually the author of a book called Daring Greatly, where it goes into courage, etc. So that's really what it boils down to. If this criticism is just coming from some armchair quarterback, it's invalid. You shouldn't even be considering it for 1 second, because they're not out there doing anything. They're not out there trying. They're not out there trying to make themselves better. And then lastly, what is the person's intent? There are a lot of people who have the misguided habit of blowing out other people's candles in hopes that it'll make theirs shine brighter. And I see this happen all the time when someone is really regaining their confidence from exercise and eating healthy and losing weight and feeling better. And maybe they got a raise at work, or they got the new boyfriend or girlfriend, or they're living in a better place. People are gonna try and blow out that candle to make themselves feel better. And I see it happening a lot. And really kind of the best way to summarize it is what I wrote down here. Most people punch up. So they're gonna attack you if they see you above them. So meaning they will always ridicule others who are doing better than them, be it physically, financially, spiritually, etc. Most of these people are trapped in a victim mindset and would prefer you at their level, even if it means you fail. So people will always try and bring you, the naysayers, let's say that. The naysayers will always try and bring you down to their level, all right? And most of these people, if you talk to them or are around them enough, they really suffer from this one right here, that victim mindset, that guy right there, all right? This no control of their own lives. They see someone breaking free of the matrix, if you will, and they want to pull that person back in. And I've seen it happen so many times. People will always punch up. And then here's kind of 4 things I put together kind of in relation to that are good to keep in mind. So number 1, eliminate toxic friends. And you've probably heard me say this before to you guys multiple times. Are your friends wind in your sail, or are they anchors pulling you down? All right. That's kind of how you have to look at a lot of friendships. All right. And those of you guys who have ever run a business or have ever been in a management position have probably heard of this. If not, and it's new, it's a very good rule to live by. And it's hire slow, fire fast. So if you have friends, or if you're cultivating a new group of friends, you always want to vet them to some extent. Make sure they share the same values and the same principles as you do, and make sure that they are going to be wind in your sail. All right. If those friends are not, and you could even overlap this with relationships, fire them fast. Basically, that's what you're looking for. Okay. If someone's bringing you down and they are toxic, get rid of them. It's not worth it. They will bring you down to their level no matter what. All right. So think of it like that. Wind in sail or anchor pulling you down. Hire slow, fire fast. That's really what it boils down to. Next, this is more for online hate and criticism. Never feed the trolls. So you're never going to change the mind of a person online, especially if it's some stranger living in some other part of the country. So always remember that, you guys. You're never going to change someone's mind in an online argument. It's just not going to happen, especially when it comes to maybe politics, religion, current events, whatever it might be. You're not going to change that person's mind. And who cares? Like they're in a different state. Who cares if you change their mind? All right. Avoid engaging with negative comments on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. And then the best way to deal with it is block, delete, or just ignore it altogether. So never feed the trolls when it comes to online engagement, etc. Next, surround yourself with winners. And you guys have definitely heard me say this before. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. If you hang out with 5 fat, lazy, broke losers, guess what? You're going to be the 6th fat, lazy, broke loser. Okay. So the circle of friends, your tribe that you are hanging out with, it is absolutely crucial that those people are going the same direction as you are in life. For example, this tribe that we have, our little tight-knit group of OT fitness here, you are safe in this group. If you lose 50 pounds, you are going to get congratulations. You are going to get attaboy, attagirl, good job, fantastic. But sometimes when you put that out there, even if it's a close friend, they might crap on that. So you want to make sure you're hanging out with and surrounding yourself with 5 like-minded people or more that are going to essentially be wind in your sails. So these two are really related, but it's just kind of emphasizing that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. And then lastly, opinions. Opinions are just thoughts or chemical reaction in someone else's mind. So don't let them live rent-free in your mind. That 6 inches between your ears, don't let them live rent-free up there. They're just blurting out stuff that's based on chemical reactions in their mind that may or may not be offensive to you. You've got to let it go. And then I read this quote when I was putting this together: other people's opinion of you are none of your business. So who cares what that person's opinion? That's in their head. That's those chemical reactions going on in their head. Their opinion should not matter whatsoever to you. All right. So you guys' homework assignment, I'm not grading you on this. I don't expect you to turn anything in. It's just a little thought experiment here, is do a friend audit. All right. So who is an anchor that needs to go? There might be someone pulling you down right now in your life, or there's just somebody on social media that's just always trolling what you say. I've got a couple trolls. I keep them around because it motivates me. But do they need to get blocked on social media? Do they need to be cut out altogether? Let that anchor go. So do a friend audit. You'll be really surprised at who's on your side and who's supporting you and who is not. All right. Next